Hey, how you doing? My name is Brandon Whited, and this is going to be an over-the-shoulder where I try and try and show you how I'm trying to apply the concepts from Nic Peterson, from Dan Nicholson, from Jay Abraham, as well to this VR business that's local to me. Now, the first thing I want to start off with is give you a general overview of what the business does, and then I'll go into its current readiness, like its hypothetical, or my best estimate of the money available to it, plus and then what I think they should do. What are the greatest limiters to them to grow the business? What is the greatest limiters that's limiting them from growing the business and going exponential? So it's a VR experience business. Specifically, it's location based. So if any of you have played VR, or if you haven't, usually you're stuck in a very small location. You have to use joysticks to move around. Well, with location based, you can physically move around a much larger space. The game is designed for you to be able to walk around and jump and play instead of using joysticks, and it's a lot better. It's awesome. I dislike playing regular VR now that I've tried that. And they have custom made three games. One is a escape room. The other two are shooting experience, cooperative and versus mode. And it's all made in house, custom made by them, by the two founders. And right now they have a smallish office which they use to host it, which has a maximum occupancy from the lease. It says only 12 people, including two operators. And here's their rough estimate of the revenues that I took from. Basically, I have access to their booking software, and I estimated, given it's $40 per person per hour. This is their rough revenues, so I mean, sort of lower in January. Um, I don't know why I didn't count January of 2020. Oh, right, January of 2022 is because they the French and they take off for a while. So let's assume that's probably 8,000 because January and February tend to be low months. Let me. So we'll just estimate that. Is this? I need to change that. 1 second. Yoink. Okay, good. So right, I mean that makes a big difference. It might be a little more, it might be a little less, but that is within the range of possibility. I mean, right, even December because of the holidays, not as many people. It's traditionally a lower month. They also take off during that time. Um, so $147,000 revenue minus EBITA, earnings before interest and taxes. I don't think that's the correct thing, but you get it. This is minus all their estimated expenses. The rent I know is around so and so amount. Employee costs, assuming minimum wage, someone is getting paid minimum wage to deal with all this. Probably a little more because I didn't put in employee taxes, stuff like that. Utilities estimate, missed costs, which is like they've been spending $1,000 on Google Ads here and there. I'm not sure of the frequency, and they also have been upgrading gear, investing in the business. So let's say missed 20,000, and then let's assume a 20% tax rate, 41,000 profit. Not a lot of money, right? But here's the rub. I mean, the place is so small that they can't really accommodate frequently big parties, corporate parties, team building exercises for corporations, even big school trips. Like for example, I got a call and there was this school. So, and I'll talk about this later. How a competitor recently went under. Um, the school, 55 kids, 2 hours. The competitor was charging 3,900. They went under, and they called us to see if we could accommodate them. 3,900 for 2 hours of work. I mean, a great that's great leverage. And I say compared to see how many of these are 1 hour, two people. Like a lot of these, this is kind of low leverage hours right here. It's only so $40 per person, so $80 plus minus the expenses and whatnot. The high leverage money is in those big groups and being able to consistently get them in while also having this and whatnot. That's also good. So this is the rough numbers of the business. I think there's a lot more upside if they one, if they get a bigger place, and let me get into that now. So, what are the biggest limiters to this business right now? One, I think it's small location, that they can't host these big parties. And corporations, you can charge a lot more per person than $40. So there's a significant amount of money there. So that's the first limiter, and he's working on that. The other one is just simply no referral system. So yeah, they don't really know who their best customers are, how many times their best customers refer. They don't segment by so there's a lot of tourists that come to New York, and then they look up fun things to do, and then they come to the VR place, and then they go back home, right? And right now, this the thing they use is Fair Harbor. It doesn't sort who's who. It doesn't say, oh, this person's local in New York City, this person is from abroad or wherever. They are not going to be coming back. This is a one thing. They don't keep track of that. They don't keep track of how many times people. They don't have a CRM that tracks who is coming in and who's bought more times. They don't have these answers. And because of this, they're missing. There's a lot of value to be unlocked. I mean, also all these calculations are without a referral system that's incentivizing people to come more often and to refer their friends, and then rewarding them, and rewarding them for doing so, and create it. There's no system to create that flywheel right now. The other biggest limiter I'd say is, which is sort of the same thing, is, I mean, no, there's no testimonial process. They don't really show any reviews on their website right now. They don't have a way to get people to provide video testimonials. I mean, they have their Google reviews, but can they go even further with that? They don't have something like that right now. The other one is the lack of games. Games/development. Development's hard. Video game development's hard. They have the three games, but the biggest thing is replayability, and some of them are. But if you want people to keep coming back, you need something new for them to try. So if they have 4 or 5 games, that's really the ideal compared to the 2 versions they have, the escape room and the shooting ones, which are 2 types. The other one, the biggest limiter in my mind is got small location, no referral system, game development. I mean, those are really the 3 biggest ones, I'd say. And I took a bunch of other notes here. Let me see how I want to actually. So this is actually where should I go? So applying to the 4 lenses to these, or asymmetric upside, right? Least effort, asymmetric upside, more upside, least downside. I mean, there's more downside with getting a bigger location. I mean, in New York City, rent and real estate is expensive. So, but the biggest one for this is when they do move to the new location, how can they make it so that they already have a bunch of people, a bunch of corporations ready to just pay them money when they open it, and they're not trying to fill that. I mean, he has some list, but it's probably not as organized as it could be. And here's an actual opportunity. So a competitor went under in New York City. They actually have the #1 SEO spot for VR in New York City. And Jay Abraham talks about this a lot, how, I mean, a business is composed of many different parts that are valuable. Like the domain for that business is money. The client list, because they used to host school trips. I mentioned earlier, I got that call from that school wanting to have 55 of their kids come, but we couldn't accommodate them because we can only fit 13 people. Like they went under, and now those people are looking elsewhere. If we could get that list of all of their past corporate clients, big group clients, event clients, that would be pure money. That would be pure money right there. As far as the referral system, applying the 4 lenses to this. So 1, it's a revenue generator for sure. 2, it's a cost savings eventually, because if people refer, you're not spending that money on ads or any of that, so it saves you money in that. it's a forcing function because this is just something every business needs to do. So creating that is a forcing function to simply create the referral system so that you're actually, because the whole Nic Peterson's whole customers for life um, course is about how valuable that is and how, I mean, I don't know if Nic and Jay Abraham talk about the three ways to grow a business. You get new customers, brand new people, you increase the amount of money spent per session, or you increase the frequency that they come. Now, I'm dodging back and forth. I'm very ADHD. So setting up this referral system is absolutely hits three of the four lenses, right? I mean, is it time savings? Once it's set up, I think it would be, because compared to, well, in the beginning you need to set it up, but if you actually have a process and a CRM that automatically segments people, they book, they have to select a few options, and the CRM automatically sorts them into, hey, this person's local, this person's from out of town, this person's referral code has been used 10 times, put them in a high referral list so that I can then go in there and say, who's our best customers, who come the most, who refers the most. And this takes me to, right, the three ways to grow a business. Like, for example, we've been trying to do this competitively with the versus shooter mode, the game that we have. And I sent out an email to their email list. It's like 350 people, but 350 names, 69 names, or whatever it is. But the guy doesn't know who the hell's in that list. They're not sorted by, are they local? They're not sorted. They haven't really been warmed up. So 369 people, one person responded and said, hey, I'd want to sign up for this, competitive league. Whereas if we had that CRM full of our best customers already, their contact info all ready to be segmented into an email, or just simply ready to be called or contacted, we could have probably had 32 people or 20 people, however little or more people, we could have had this set up. So let me go through all the ways. So new customer, oh, right. And that leads me to the biggest limiter, another limiter, SEO, right? A lot of people find this company in all the VR places by Fun Things to Do in New York, VR in New York. It is a growing market for sure. And like I said, that competitor that went under has the number one spot. And since they went under, the Saturday bookings, it's been booked out completely every single hour from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. About 10 people call each day when it's booked out saying, hey, is there any availability? And that's not, and so we know there's at least double the amount of demand there that we can't satisfy. And that's not including the people who just simply go to the booking software on our website and look for availability, and they're like, oh, nothing's available, and they don't call at all. So God knows how much demand there is. That's at least 2, maybe even 3 or 4 times. We can't tell because I don't know if he has his Google Analytics set up. Do we have the data where we can look at the website? How many people have been looking at the website compared to before? Maybe I need to talk to him about that. So back to the 3 ways of growing a business. So right, new customers, improve their SEO. I mean, on Yelp, on Google reviews, on TripAdvisor, on all those sites. How can we optimize that SEO so that they get to the top of the front page? Because that is money. I mean, new customers from referral system, of course. From a testimonial, what did I do there? There we go. A testimonial and review system, of course, so that when people come to the website, they see that, oh, wow, a lot of people like this. Increasing amount of money spent per session. So this is a big one, right? I said earlier how, this isn't really efficient. You have a capacity of 6 people. You got 1 employee getting paid $15, $20, whatever it is. And then you like minimum 2 people, it's not that much money. So could we make it so that on the booking software, and this is my idea of, Nic talks about a third place all the time. Make your business a third place for people to hang out. Well, it's a lot harder for people to meet new people these days. So could the booking software allow random people to book with each other and fill up like 3 groups of 2? Could that be a fun way? Could we make this a feature of the business where you want to be booked with strangers so that you can have a good time with them. And if you really want to do just you and your girlfriend, well, then you gotta fucking pay for it, right? I don't think two people should pay $40. They should probably pay 60 because it's inefficient otherwise. And then increase their frequency, of course. And this is once again one of the limiters. More games. The competitive VR league would help with this. And and yeah, how can you that the how can you get them to come more frequently when you only have those two games and the replayability of them? Replayability. I mean, frankly, that is because I've had an idea where allow users to create their own experiences. Right, modding is a huge thing in computer games, and then it just radically increases the replayability because new content is being added by people who like playing the game. But that's probably far in the future. Oh, and this is so this is their so this is like their customer journey plus what I want to the green is what I want to actually properly throw in there. So, they Google VR in New York City or they best VR, fun things to do, yada yada. They see our Google listing, they go to the website. What I would want them to do is to watch a pre-book video that sets an expectation about what to expect, how we're going to take care of them, maybe even like answers the allegiance, like Nic's allegiance accelerator, which is the three questions are: am I in the right place? What do I do now? Hold on, let me go look at my notes because okay, the three questions. Why am I here? Am I in the right place? Do I understand exactly what to do next? And these aren't being answered, I know for a fact, in a bunch of different places on their website. It's not as clear. I mean, even the fact that a lot of those people are calling, hey, is there any availability? Like, it's not clear to just go check the booking software and see for yourself what's available. And I know Nic says more conversations equals more money. I mean, I feel it's a little different when it's there's a lot more clients with lower dollar spend overall. Yeah, I mean, if you're charging $5,000 a pop, get more conversations for this. It's a little different. And let me see. Right. And Jay Abraham talks about setting expectations for your clients, what they should expect from you, quality service, but what you expect from them, which is that they need to refer, that this is important, that we don't spend a lot of money on marketing because we want to make the services awesome and make it easy for you to refer. And so we're reliant on you to tell your friends and whatnot. So if you get a good experience, leave a review, tell your friends, family, feel comfortable bringing them, right? So setting that expectation and the whole thing, booked, received, improved confirmation email with the expectations video, and then reminders so that the expectation for them is to show up on time, sign your waivers so that because if you sign your waivers there, you're wasting time. You want to go play. And then, I mean, even this needs to be like, how do you onboard them? How do you teach them? Like, I think the tutorials that teach how to use the VR controls aren't good enough right now. And I think the owner, and I did it at the beginning, has that technical, I think Nic's mentioned in one of his things how they were teaching athletes, their protocols for the physical fitness ones, and they followed it and it worked. It was a fantastic product. And then when they did regular people, well, they had trouble following it, and Nic could have had the choice where they said, oh, well, these people suck, the product is amazing, it's them. Or they figure out, how do we get these people to do it better? And I think me at the beginning and the owner of this business still does have this, oh, how can these fools not understand how to follow the directions and whatnot? But the tutorial isn't as good as it could be right now, and it's waste time. And if people are confused in the game, they have a time that isn't as good, which affects the entire business overall because they'll refer less, they won't leave reviews. It's awful, right? I mean, and this is like people say they're going to review afterwards, even if they had a good time. But I feel like it's an American thing where It's like, yeah, I'll see you later. Yeah, I'll leave a review. Never happens, even if maybe they even meant it. But how can we incentivize them to just do it then and leave more reviews on Google, Yelp? I mean, offer Ferrero Rocher or some sort of. I mean, I guess it is a little tacky. I don't know. Uh, I need to think about that some more. And right, I mean, and then the final email, receive more instructions for referrals, a thank you video, and this is something I've been struggling like bonuses. How do I incentivize? How does this company incentivize people to refer more? How do you reward people? Do you just give them free sessions if they refer enough people? I mean, giving beta access to the new games definitely, but that's they don't have new games in beta all the time. So, uh, yeah, that's all my thoughts on this. I mean, let's apply the four lenses. I mean, this is let's see, SEO, a revenue generator, yes. I mean, it's a local business, so setting up it's something you need to have properly done. It's just a base of local business, and SEO works the best in local, and it's possible to get really high up on the rankings fast if you know what you're doing. So it's a forcing function to do what the business is supposed to do. Is it time savings? It's cost savings because if when it's properly set up, you don't have to spend on ads. Is it time savings? Well, once it's set up, the listing's there. You don't have to do anything. So I'd say, this fulfills all four lenses. This fulfills three of the four at the very least. This one, let's see, getting to a bigger location. Is it a revenue generator? Possibly. Um, is it? I need to think about this one some more because there's a way to really. I think this one needs a lot of work done to limit the downside risk because you're gonna get a big uptick in rent. Right now they're paying 4,000. If it goes up to 12,000 three times, I mean, well, actually let's let's play with the numbers. At their current numbers, if their rent went up by double, what would it be? Oh, they'd have minus 8,000, minus 1862. Now that's not including. Once again, that's not including. How many people do they have to take? They can't take in walk-ins right now because the place is so small. If someone's there, right? That's not including walk-ins. That's not including the people they have to turn away. That's not including the corporate, the corporate, the corporate big groups, the school trips, all of that. So I hope you found this useful. Maybe this made some of the concepts sound a little better, or made more sense in your head. Thanks for listening. I'm going to keep on doing these as I feel them necessary, as I feel the need to. Oh, and I guess the one last thing, right? Nick has talked about creating a proper digital doormat where your Twitter, your website, all these answer the three allegiance accelerator questions, which is, why am I here? Am I in the right place? What exactly do I do next? So, thanks for listening. Take care.